Hi, welcome to the channel. Today's video is titled Andrew Wilson Schools Two Feminists on What Marriage Really Is. Alright, we're going to check this video together and I love your thoughts and your contribution in the comments below. Let's dive right in. This is a member shout out. Thank you so much for signing up to become a member here on this channel or to being a member here on this channel. Your love and support is immensely appreciated. Thank you so much. And if you want to sign up to become a member or be a member here on this channel, make sure to click the link in the description box below to sign up to become a member. Once again, thank you so much. Your love is appreciated.
Dependent or physically dependent or in some way dependent on the person. You shouldn't get married to a person if you're going to refuse to depend on them. That's the whole point.
Well, yeah, in a marriage, both people depend on each other.
Yeah, of course. And so, the thing is like one of the biggest. There was remember that old country song? It was like, I think that pride's the chief cause of the decline of the number of husbands and wives. I don't remember who wrote this. Someone in chat will tell me. Send in this fucking super chat. And tell me that it'll drive me crazy till I remember who sang the song. But the point is it's like, well, that's what it sounds like from you. It's just pride, it's just pure pride. Like,
it's not pride.
I'm not gonna. If there's an impasse, we're gonna fucking compromise because I have a pantsuit on, and it's like,
no.
You know, it's not always necessary. It's
that's not what my take's about. What I'm saying, like, for example, in a situation, your husband wants to move somewhere for a job, you want to stay somewhere for a job. That's not about saying I'm gonna have all this pride. It's about also thinking about what's good for yourself, your own personal life goals, and just like not basing your whole life around this other person.
Yeah, why don't you trust your man to
then why
doing
get
that
married?
for you? Yeah, why don't you
married?
Because in this
your
situation,
partner?
you know that you want to stay in this place, and you know that's good for you. That's the environment you want to be in.
More
That's
than
your-
you want to be with this person that you trust and respect.
Sure, it can be.
Sorry,
Well,
can I
then
also
why
mention
marry him?
on the kid and
Why get
parent
married?
example?
It's a good point.
On the kid and parent example, an adult would not listen to their parents on like if my mom called me right now and said, "Hey, I think you should drop out of school. I think that's what's best for you." I probably wouldn't listen to that because I'm an adult. Like that's the main difference between that example and why it
Are you
can't
married
be
to your
compared to
mom?
this situation. No, but you did make someone here made the claim
You
that
always
is
have the
comparable.
choice when you're an adult to leave your parents, right?
Yes.
Though I think less and less people are, and they probably should more, but you always have the choice as an adult to leave your parents, right? A marriage is supposed to be forever.
Sure.
And so,
yeah.
like, if that's the case, why would you want to intertwine yourself with someone forever that you don't trust enough to, when they say, this is important to me, to yield to them?
I am always going to trust myself above anyone else because I'm a
Then
very
don't get married.
I'm a very competent
Then
adult.
don't
No,
get married.
I think that there's a difference as well between leaning on someone and depending on them. I think it's perfectly normal to lean on your partner and for them to help you and for you guys to, it should, be helpful for both parties there.
See,
but
I think-
I do believe
This
that no
mindset-
one person should ever be fully depending on someone else for their well-being, for their decision making, for their path in life. I think you should trust yourself, and I think you should be competent enough to make those decisions for yourself.
You know, this
agree with that.
is pretty funny, right? It's like when you're talking about depending here in this context. Why get married if you don't want to be able to depend on the person?
Exactly. And I was having this conversation with my friends about the marriage, right? Because I wanted to get people's take when in regards to marriage, especially with the topic. And so far so good. When I hear lots of people talk, although when what they said makes total sense because it was giving different perspective or different sense to it. But judging from what this lady is saying or the other person already said, I now come to understand that lots of these modern women, liberals, leftists, they have this flawed way of thinking, especially in regards to marriage. When they hear dependence, their mind go like, whoa, I'm gonna lose control of myself. No. Or when they hear support, oh, I'm gonna lose control of myself because how am I gonna surrender and let this person be domineering over me? That's not how marriage works. That's not how marriage works. Lots of people have this one-sided way of thinking, selfish reasons or selfish. That is it. Like, listen, lots of people so far so good are just selfish. That's why lots of the time their marriages fail. Because if you're in a marriage, getting into marriage, the core essence of you and your partner being in that marriage is because you trust yourself. You cannot be telling me you're single and you trust yourself, and then when you get to the marriage you say, oh, I'm not going to trust my partner. Why are you there? Or you get into a relationship and say you're not ready to trust your partner, then you don't believe in partnership. Why are you there? You're better off being single, because guess what? You prefer to do your things alone. You want to be a loner, and marriage does not work for somebody who wants to be a loner or somebody who is a loner. That's the thing. People miss the idea, or miss what marriage truly is, and want to paint this narrative to say, oh, this is what I think, and when I get into marriage, this is it, this is who I am. If you don't accept me for who I am, then what are you? What are you? Many people just need to grow up, because this narrative or this idea of this is who I am, you're not going to change for no. Oga, sit down. Sit down. Just update yourself, read, because lots of people don't even know what it is. That's the reason why lots of people need to go for marriage counseling. Marriage counseling. So you understand what a marriage is. It's not this what you see on social media, or what you see on internet, or what you see on Hollywood. That's not how marriage is. And everybody's marriage is not going to be the same. Don't use someone else's experience in marriage to judge your own or to run your own. That's not how it works. Because guess what? The both of you and your partner, you're two different people. And the core essence is for you to understand each other. Speak one language, not someone else's language. Again, talk about the marriage, the job thing. Obviously, that is what you and your partner you are going to be discussing. The both of you are going to come on the table, have a mutual discussion to see which is beneficial, what is beneficial for the parties. It's not just something that because people get married and be like they can't talk to their partner. How do you get married to somebody you can't talk to? How? And you say, oh, I don't want to move to some place because my husband got the job. I want to stay here. Well, that's not your decision alone to make. Because guess what? You're not single anymore. You've got a partner, and the both of you need to sit on a table or sit together, have a mutual discussion, mutually understand each other, come on an agreement, because nobody is going to understand your partner better than you, or understand your marriage better than you. And the both of you are going to do what's going to work to help the family. It's common sense. Don't just come with this idea to say, oh, I trust myself. I trust me better than I trust my partner. I don't want to be dependent on my partner. Come on. You better off single.
For those things, for those very things, like for instance, I'm a fucking slob. Like I just am. Okay, I'm a slob. I'm a smoker, right? And I smoke in my little fucking man cave, right? And I'll consistently look down, and the genie has come through and cleaned everything in front of me. Sometimes even while I'm live streaming, right? This genie just comes through and it's all gone. And I'm like, this is fucking amazing. It's my wife, right? And every single comfort that I can imagine, right? She predicts on my behalf. You know what I've noticed over the years? Totally fucking depend on her for it. 100%, right? Depend on her for it, to the point where I don't even really think about it much anymore. And it's like, I wouldn't ever want to lose that dependency. Why would I ever want to lose that dependency? And the thing is that if you can outsource heavy decisions because you know that those decisions overall are going to be the best for you and your family, what's wrong with depending on that? That seems really wise.
I think a primary difference between you and me is I would not like to marry someone for what they can offer me. I would like to marry someone that I love. I think that a very healthy relationship could exist in
then why not just be their friend?
If a relationship looks different than a friendship, you guys behave differently.
What's the difference in your view except you're fucking them?
Sometimes you spend more time with that person, you live with that person.
You can spend tons of time with a friend and live with a friend.
I actually have said so many times to I have a few friends I love. I will not be in a relationship with someone unless they make me feel that much
I think she
love.
means romantic attraction.
Right.
When you're dating someone out of love, what do you like to have? What's the number one thing that you need, everybody needs in a loving, romantic relationship? Number one.
Compromise.
Ain't wrong. No, none of that's correct.
This, right? This. Obviously, let them speak. Then you understand that, yeah, you're just selfish. Because you can't go or be in a relationship with somebody or be in a relationship if you're selfish or if you're a selfish person. You cannot. You cannot. Because lots of people be like, oh, I don't like somebody touching my things. I don't like somebody moving this. I don't like somebody doing this. Ah, okay. 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 Yeah, I'm not going to say anything there. But again, people have this one-sided idea of relationship or marriage because it always has to be about me, 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 me. It's not about mutual partnership. See, a marriage is not just about, or relationship is not just about looking cute for the grams and whatever. For the good times and for the bad times. Because guess what? This is the person you're potentially gonna be living with, seeing every day for the rest of your life, yo. Every day. Sometimes the both of you would even start be guess doing what? You will start resembling each other. That's how it works. That's how it works. It's not just about like, it's me, it's me, it's me. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Make me feel that much.
I think she
love.
means romantic attraction.
Right.
When you're dating someone out of love, what do you like to have? What's the number one thing that you need? Everybody needs in a loving romantic relationship. Number one.
Compromise.
Ain't wrong. No, none of that's correct. It's not trust. It's not compromise. It's peace.
I
It's
disagree
harmony.
entirely.
I disagree with
harmony.
peace and harmony. I think it's a benefit, honestly.
For you guys on the end, I'm curious to invert that. Like,
Okay, I just want to say that was a very prostitute-like thing to say.
No.
I'm just saying.
Not beneficial, like
okay.
super transactional. I mean,
She likes
you
drama.
said, where you
She
benefit
lives.
from having a wife who is good at cleaning because you're not. Right, historically,
it's not
throughout,
really. It's not really.
No, that's the only one.
Yeah.
But historically, throughout the humanity, that people have married, they have aligned houses for benefit, whether it's land.
That's true.
Or
Nobility
people, or king,
does.
like anything. And for women, they might be like, I want a father for my kids, so they might get married to have that sense of stability rather than a baby daddy. Right.
Yeah. Well, generally, like the historic standard, even though I don't like her much, Leela Rose points this out pretty well. Even though I disagree with like 90% of reviews, she did get this right. And I went through and researched it out. She's pretty much right. It used to be when peasants got married. You're talking about the nobility, alignment of houses, and stuff like that. Totally fair. But when peasants got married, it was like they usually worked a small plot of land together, the husband and the wife. They really actually worked the small plot together. If you were a smith, your husband or your wife usually would actually take care of small forge issues, take care of the kids, take care of this, take care of that. If you were a tradesman, something like this. If you were a farmer, same thing. She would exist in that capacity, right? As a helpmate. It was a helpmate situation. The reason that it was so important that it was the man who was in charge is because of the security aspect, right? You have brigadiers and bandits, and you have things that'll kill you. You have literal fucking wolves at the door, right? You have 3 men who will break into your fucking house and grab your wife and try to steal your Bitcoin. You got to shoot one. That aspect actually hasn't changed. Like that aspect of keeping the wolves at bay, that has not changed. And so that motherfucker gets the big piece of chicken. And that fucking guy gets the higher end of the respect pole because when push comes to shove, you expect him, if you're being held hostage, to kill a motherfucker, and your husband did. And so it's like, yeah, he gets the big piece of chicken, right? That's the way it has to work.
Yeah, and that's still benefit. All those biological things, like being pack animals, it's like at the end of the day, we are benefiting from being with one another, and that's good. It's not transactional necessarily in a bad way. It's just part of human nature.
Truth. And like that's the form of dependency that's good. It's good dependency. Like
that's right.
How would you have done better on your own when that happened?
Oh no, I'd be dead.
You'd be dead. Like why shouldn't you depend on that? That seems like basic common sense, It seems like basic common sense.
I think that if he were in her shoes, and this is intended with like zero disrespect at all, but I do think that if you had been in her exact shoes at the time, you also wouldn't have stood a chance against 3 armed men when you didn't have a firearm on you, as she was, I'm guessing.
Correct.
Do you think that she would have handled the situation as good as him?
No.
Would you?
No.
No. And by the way, on top of that, how are you with guns in comparison to your husband?
I'm great at shooting them once they're already like set up all the mags and loaded for me.
Once he loads your magazines, because your fingers fingers hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
And he can't get you. The second you get to the center of the magazine, you go fuck, fuck, fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So he loads it. He takes it. He cocks it. That's hard too.
Right. Like
right?
the gun would have to already be.
And then he
fully
has to
loaded
put it down, and then you pick it up, and then you're a fucking marksman, then, aren't you?
I know, right? Yeah.
It's like that's the common American story, and that's the common story between men and women that feminists like to fucking lie about. They like to lie about that shit. Mrs. never used a gun, but knows that women can. And I don't know what your history is there too, but when it comes to violence, she has to outsource it to men, and you always will have to. And that's why they get the big piece of fucking chicken. They get the honorific, and they get to make the biggest decisions. Does that mean in daily life that you don't compromise? Of course not. Of course you compromise. There's all sorts of things I compromise on. Look, I want that bedroom. That would be a lot better for the girls. Okay, well, but you know what? Actually, you're right about that. So let's make sure that that's for the girls. But on the other hand, if it comes down to, hey, this is a big decision. It means a lot to me. You need to follow my lead, and you need to not ask any questions. That's what I get. And man, that's the way.
But would you agree that in dating, both women and men can have certain preferences? For example, a woman could have the preference to not want to call her man master, and that's fine.
Yeah, but again, the reason I feel like you keep deferring back to master, even though I excuse that as
it's
being...
an example. Forget about that example. Women and men can both have preferences.
They can. They can have preferences. Maybe they align. Maybe they align, right? But really, would you get rid of a great man who was willing to do all of those great things because he wanted an honorific? Like, he wanted you to honor him in some way?
I mean, would I have figured this out, like, late into the relationship? Like, I'm curious. Like, if we were first starting to get to know each other.
Well, if you get married to him, you should probably have some sort of... You should put him on some sort of platform like you would put the judge you call your honor, yes.
He would know by now that I wouldn't be the kind of person who would do that if we had gone to the point to being
So how is that not just incentive for men to not marry you?
Well, I don't think most women who prefer to not want to use an honorific on their husband are going to have trouble getting married.
It's not just using an honorific; it's acting as though the honorific is there.
I think that goes both ways.
The same way you would behave in a fucking courtroom when it came down to it, the time it came down to it, where the judge is going to say such and you're going to obey.
Well, I wouldn't.
That would be you acting as though the honorific was real, whether you said your honor or fucking not.
Let me just say this before they continue with this talk. Listen. Even God, yeah? Because us as human beings, lots of people have this mindset to be like, I want to do things alone. I am better off doing things alone, or I'm better off doing things alone, or I don't need a man. You hear many feminists, modern feminists, they have this narrative, oh, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. Hey, you don't need a man. You don't need to announce it to the entire world or to us that you don't need a man. Stay your day. Day your day. Let others day their day. Yeah? Because God that created man and woman, he knew. He created man, asked man to name everything on earth. But guess what? God looked at man and what did he say? He said, it is not good for a man to be alone. Let me send help. So guess what? What that means? That we all need help. We cannot be alone. Yes, you need you friendship is good. But guess what? When you're married, your husband or your spouse would have both. Because guess what? Your friend would not have what your spouse have would do to you. Because friendship relationship and marital relationship relationship, they are not the same. 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 Don't for any reason compare both or compare any. Do you think if they are the same, God would have said, okay, let him create? Of course, he's God. But do you think if they are the same, God will not let man to be alone and be friends with the freaking animals or the other creations on earth? He would have let man be friends with them. But he said no. Communication style. Somebody who's going to speak the language, speak the same language as man. Therefore, what? He caused man to sleep and he created a woman out of the ribs of a man. And guess what? When the man woke up, did he go wonder to say, who are you? No. What happened? The man woke up and said, therefore you shall be called woman, bone of my bone. How are people not getting that part of the Bible right? That means the two of you becomes what? One. You're not speaking different language. You're speaking the same language. The same language. One language is what you both are speaking. It's not the same as friendship. That is not in the marriage. Because guess what? Your partner becomes your friend. You build relationship. The both of you become confident to each other. And if you cannot, because that's where the sweetener. And you both become each other's peace. Lots of people just think that, oh, marriage is all lovey-dovey. There are no good and sad times or good and bad times in marriage. That's not how it works. And if you have that reasoning, or if you have that idea of how marriage is supposed to be, you need to go check yourself, or you need to go relearn what marriage entails or what marriage is about. Because that's why lots of people are failing woefully in marriage. That's why people are failing. Because when you understand the dynamics of how marriage is supposed to be, then you understand that no, it's not a selfish. It's selfish. You cannot be married if you're selfish, or if you have a selfish mindset. It doesn't work. It doesn't.
Was real, whether you said your honor or fucking not.
Like acting like super obedient and like demure and submissive.
In certain situations where you need to be demure and you need to be submissive, yes.
If I'm dating someone, it's gonna be like I'm gonna act authentically
We're not
myself.
talking about dating. I'm talking about marriage.
Sure. If I'm marrying someone, it's gonna be because I know they like me for who I am authentically.
Wait, can we invert that real fast for you guys? Is there a possibility, like, you can pick exactly however you want this person to be, that there's a man that you would, in that previous example, like there's a big decision, you feel one way, he feels the other, right? Like that you would defer to him. Is that man even like possible?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like he's good for you in every way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That you would be willing in that moment when push comes to shove for the decision, right? Like you feel one way, he feels the other, that you would defer to him.
I mean, it would depend on what I'm deferring to him to.
The question is contradictory. There would never be a man who is perfect for me who would ask me to sacrifice my life goals.
So the answer is no.
No.
So hang on. No, he asked the perfect.
The man would
that
not
was
be
the perfect
perfect for me.
fucking
No, and I'm ready
question.
to
The
answer
answer
it.
is no.
I don't think
I'm
life
ready to
goals
answer it.
was
What the
necessarily the
Yeah,
Well,
she
I think
did
that if
answer
I'm
it.
asked to, like,
The
for
second she
example,
said
move to
it's
Antarctica.
contradictory.
No, I'm sorry. If I was asked to move to Antarctica, that is giving up my life goals. My life goals
know.
happen here.
So the answer is no.
Yeah.
Then you remain
because that
single.
man
Yeah.
doesn't-
I
Okay,
told
on
you
that
the
too.
answer is no.
That man is
But it also
incapable of
depends on the
existing.
degree of like the conflict. Like in certain situations, like I would of course be willing to like cede something or
But
like
you can make this guy perfect. Like anything that you could ever possibly want.
I could not make him perfect if he's asking
Yeah,
that
if
of
he's
me.
asking her to do any fucking thing.
No,
he
if he's
can't make
asking,
her
we're talking about
That's
extreme
too
life
much.
decisions. I think that compromise also means sometimes giving into what your partner
Fine,
wants on
then
both
don't.
ends.
I'll tell you what. Then don't. Then here's
We're talking
the
about
thing.
huge life
Get-
decisions.
Get married and don't defer to him for a huge life decision. But also, don't expect him to put his life on the line when
I
three
don't.
men break into your fucking house and have you hostage.
No,
Okay,
because
don't,
I would
don't
do that
expect
for him
that
as
either.
well. Because I would do that for him as well. If I was the one holding the gun, I would start
You
shooting.
don't have the capacity to do it.
You don't
That's
think I'm
the point.
capable of shooting a gun?
I don't think that you're. Look, I don't think that you're capable the same way he is.
Do you believe that I am capable
I
of
don't
shooting
think
a
you're
gun?
capable the same way
That
he
was
is.
not my
and so
question.
security will always be deferred to him.
That was not my question.
Okay, I'll tell
That's
you
not
what.
true. Let's say that.
Here,
No.
You know what?
Bear with
Actually,
me.
no. I don't think you're capable of it. Tell me how you load a gun.
I don't know. I
Then
think
you're
that
not
I could learn.
capable of it. Then you're not fucking capable
currently
of it.
in this state right now as we speak, no. If I learned,
Then you're
yes.
not
I am
capable of
physically
it.
capable.
Then you're not capable of it.
Okay.
I just think there's also a different
that
way
doesn't mean
that
she's
men and
unimportant.
women.
Like she's
I
the
think
only
that
one
I also think that I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go on.
I think for a lot of people, there's always exceptions, but women a lot of times will process adrenaline and trauma quickly. They're more likely to run than they are to fight. If they can.
Which
if
is
it's
wise.
If it's an
That's
option.
fucking smart.
I don't know if
Or submit, right? So you have fight, flight, but you also have
That's
submit.
what I did. I ran. I ran to him.
Yeah, I don't know on like a wide scale thing. I know for me personally, I do fight. That is my immediate
Yeah,
gut
well,
response.
when three men break in and they have
Well,
fucking
it's
Glocks with
different.
30-round mags, you ain't fighting
Yes,
shit.
and if he were in that circumstance as well, I'm sorry.
He
Again,
was in that circumstance. He shot the-
wasn't.
he shot
was
the
one
fucking
holding
guy.
the gun. They didn't know where he was. They didn't have him hostage. If he was not the one holding the gun, if he was alone
it's a good
in that
thing the
room,
woman
and
is
they,
here to explain to you that if the situation was reversed, he'd be fucked.
if this,
Yeah, because he's not likely to run. He's like likely to fight, but he can't in that moment. He'd probably just be dead. For me, I'm thinking like, where can I run to? Him. And luckily, his response is to fight. So that's when the marriage works out.
Wait, just on this really quick. So when this happened, you said you ran in fear to him.
Yeah.
I think, I understand a little bit what you're saying, but I think that there's a different component here too, a different angle that we can examine. I would argue, just, we're talking about dating, that in the event that men won't judge women harshly when women display cowardice. So even in instances where you say, well, I would do the same thing, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. However, if you were to not do that and you were to run away in a cowardly fashion,
there's no judgment.
Your boyfriend or husband would not lose attraction for you. There wouldn't be a negative judgment. However, and I don't know if it's the case for you, but I would argue the vast majority of women, if men acted in the same way that women did, and I don't think you did anything wrong, by the way, but if men acted in the same way women did, they were cowards, they were scared, they ran. If a husband ran to his wife, oh my God, home invasion, what do we... regardless of the...
She wouldn't be very appreciative, would she, Brian?
Regardless of the outcome of the home invasion, whether, the woman dispatches the home invaders, women will intrinsically get the ick. If the man's a coward, the man doesn't rise to the occasion, I think a lot of women are going to, either consciously or subconsciously, they're going to lose attraction. There's going to be an assessment there.
But Brian, she's about to tell you she's the exception to that. I
Yes,
promise. I am. Yeah. It's a fucking like clockwork.
I'll
it's
just
like
say that,
clockwork. I can predict everything you're going to say before you ever say it.
What can I say?
For me, I would have preferred, like let's say we reverse the situation, right? And I'm in the bedroom, they storm in, and then she's hiding somewhere. I'd actually, whether I live or die, preferred for her to stay hidden. I think that's just a better, because you have to have some reasonably likelihood of success. Otherwise, it's just a second person dead.
Yeah,
now,
what's the point? That literally makes sense what he's saying, right?
Can I actually say in this circumstance?
Hang on 1 second. Let me just point this out, right?
Go on.
What he just gave you was great male pragmatism, right? And it's why we're so good at this and why women are so fucking terrible at it. I would prefer that you just went ahead and kill me why this person stayed hidden, because I think her chances are so low of saving me from this, right? That it's fucking stupid for her to pop her head out, because if she does, she's just going to die, and then there's going to be two of us dead. Great male pragmatism.
Yeah. So what I would
not what you see. Not what you see in the majority of these situations from women, which is why she ran to him.
What I would like to say.
I have one question for you. One question for you on my statement.
Yes.
There's this scene from, I'm going to get some heat for this, but just for R&D, like she said, research and development. I've been watching Sex in the City, and there was just for research purposes. There's actually a lot of interesting. Just
stop.
Nah, don't worry.
No. Just.
No, but there's a scene. And one of the female leads, maybe not the lead, one of the female main characters or whatever.
What's her name, Brian?
Yeah.
What's her name, Brian?
It was Charlotte.
Oh, you knew with an yeah, okay.
So Charlotte was dating this guy who, they were sleeping together, so he wasn't gay, but he was acting in a sort of gay, effeminate way. And, she was really attracted. He was a good-looking guy. She was attracted to him. But there was and she was on the fence about his kind of effeminate nature. But there was one breaking moment where, a little mouse or rat scurried across the kitchen, and he jumped on a chair like this. Oh my God! And she knew right then and there it was over. She couldn't date a guy like that. So my question to you is, you say you wouldn't care. You say you wouldn't care. You're telling me, if you were dating a guy and he saw a spider and he jumped and hid and oh my God and screamed,
it would be funny. The same way it would be funny if I jumped on a chair and laughed.
See, sometimes, listen, I'm saying this over and over again, and I'll keep saying it. The worst thing you can do to yourself is lie to yourself. You can lie to everybody, but don't ever tell yourself a lie. Because guess what? Men have this hero complex. No matter what it is, they want to be the man who protects the woman. I think I was even having this discussion with somebody, I can't remember who, that I said, no matter how weighty a woman is, a man could still carry that woman. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because men are built that way. They are built like that. They are built to shield, protect, as the protector. It is not your job. That's the more reason why we have problems with these modern feminists. Because guess what? They want to act manly, they want to act masculine. We don't need weak men in the society. We don't even need strong women in the society. We need strong men and women to be feminine. Actually, that's the blend, a mix of it. That's what makes the society what? A beauty. A beauty. Because not all this one you are saying that, you don't even know how to hold a gun first, but you all of a sudden you think by magic when you're faced in the real stuff. That's when your mind will not say, yes, I saw it in the movie. This is how they cock it. Let me do the. They would have spied you already before you even think of how you want to go and assemble the. Uh-huh. They would have spied you. You would have gone back to your maker. Then your maker will now ask you, why are you here? Because of a stupid decision you made. Is it your job? Go move like this. Move like this. Receive sense. That's just all I'm gonna say. Receive sense. Because that's not your job. Your job is not to protect your man. Your instincts, a womanly instinct is to what? Run away from danger. Run away from danger and go seek help or protection rather from your husband because that's his job. And do you think as a man that he is, he does not know that that is his job? He knows. He knows that is his job. And his masculine instinct is what? Hero. To be the hero in that situation. Not your job to come and run up to say, let me come and look for. Even a feminine man too would want to be the hero. A feminine man knows that right there and there, the femininity in that man will jump out of it. The way it will jump up, you wonder, like, eh? Wait. So you are masculine like this. I thought you are feminine. Stay there. They play. They play. Anyways, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Obviously, lots of women, they have this fantasized idea when it comes to marriage and stuff. They need to relearn how marriage dynamics work. That way you're gonna enjoy your marriage. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video. This is a member shout out. Thank you so much for signing up to become a member or for being a member here on this channel. Your love and support is immensely appreciated. Thank you so much. And if you want to sign up to become a member or if you want to be a member here on this channel, make sure to click the link in the description box below to sign up to become a member or sign up to being a member. Thank you so much once again for your love and support. It's much appreciated.